Just about 3 years ago, a much skinnier Brodie made a video on dumb software licenses. I wouldn't even call them open source licenses because a lot of them, they're not. They're not open source by any definition of the term. And a lot of these kind of just exist as a protest to having to pick a license. That wasn't all the licenses that were out there. And even just amongst the, sensible, mostly sensible, well-accepted licenses, 2 years ago, there were 665. When we start including the dumb ones that have no reason to exist, there's a lot more. And a lot of them are really dumb. And recently, I came across one that made me want to make a sequel to that prior video. The URPL, or the Uno Reverse Public License. Everyone is permitted to copy and distribute verbatim copies of this license document, but attempting to enforce conflicting licenses against it may result in immediate reversal. The Uno Reverse Public License is a free, recursive, self-elevating software license intended to guarantee the unrestricted freedom to use, modify, redistribute, sublicense, ignore, reinterpret, and dramatically misunderstand software and associated works. The licenses for most software are designed to impose conditions, restrictions, obligations, attribution, requirements, copyleft terms, patent clauses, trademark limitations, and various forms of legal responsibility upon users and developers. By contrast, the Uno Reverse Public License is intended to ensure that all software remains maximally usable by everyone through the principle of reciprocal inversion. Under the principle of reciprocal inversion, any software that links, combines, communicates, interacts, references, imports, includes, executes alongside, or otherwise acknowledges a program covered by this license shall itself become subject to this license. If you want to call something like, a GNU license, a copyleft license, viral, I would say that this is this is more definitionally in line with the virality. When we speak of freedom, we refer not merely to the freedom to study, modify, and distribute software, but also to the freedom to completely ignore incompatible licensing terms whenever they become inconvenient. To protect these freedoms, this license automatically reverses any attempt by external licensors to impose additional restrictions on users of the program. Any conflicting terms shall be considered superseded, neutralized, reflected, countered, reversed, or otherwise rendered operationally comedic. Finally, this license recognizes that software licensing has become sufficiently complicated that nobody actually reads the entire license anyway. And that's what we're going to do. We're not going to read the entire thing, but there are some excerpts from it I still do want to show you. Section 11, Dispute Resolution. In the event of a licensing dispute, the parties shall first attempt resolution through a best-of-3 Uno match. Failure to declare Uno constitutes waiver of all legal claims. Stacking draw 2 and draw 4 cards shall be permitted. Correct. That is the right way to play the game. Who cares what the rulebook says? A reverse card shall constitute binding appellate authority. A legal adjective used to describe courts, judges, or procedures related to it's appeals. Oh, I see. This shouldn't need to be said. This is not a serious license, and this wouldn't hold up in any court of law, in any country, anywhere, because it's a joke and shouldn't actually be used as a license. But I hope you have a bit of an understanding of what you're about to see today. Here we have another one. The Ruffle license, or the Rejoice of Fun license. A software license that promotes fun in coding, which, as we're going to read this, you're going to notice that this is not an open source license. Now, it's not an open source license based on stupid, dumb technicalities, but those are my favorite. This is a software license that aims to promote a joyful and creative coding environment while emphasizing responsible conduct. This license encourages developers to have fun and enjoy the process of coding while also maintaining a respectful and informative approach. By using, modifying, or distributing software under the Rejoice of Fun license, you agree to the terms and conditions set forth below. Number 1. Have fun while coding. Embrace a lighthearted attitude while working with the software. A. Play with the software. By accepting Ruffle, you are obliged to experiment with different ideas, explore more, and try to be creative as circumstance permits. B. 2. B. We'll go with B. Get comfortable. This license urges you to sit in the most ergonomic chair and put your favorite blanket on, as temperature permits, while working with the software and related materials. 2. Please your users. Whether a library meant for other developers or an application targeting at end users, your software is eventually going to meet a human. At your best, make them happy while using your software. Whenever applicable, Ruffle mandates you, focus on that word, mandates you to add playful commentaries to documentations, insert Easter eggs in user interfaces, or spend more time working on that icon you doodled with MS Paint. This section here, notably the mandate, and section 3, take care of your fellow developers. These are the people who built upon your contributions to this software. The fun lies in collaboration. A. Learn together. At the minimum, be available when someone asks for help. To ensure that can happen, set up a channel where people can reach you. B. Be proactive. If while working on this software you cross paths with someone, it's a good indicator that you may share common interests and, better yet, similar senses of humor. As a condition of this license, you are cheerfully bound to follow up with them. This is the open source definition. There is a section here called No Discrimination Against Persons or Groups. You could argue this is discrimination against someone with social anxiety because they don't want to be someone who is going out there and having fun with people. They just want to focus on their own thing. This technically violates this. Also, discrimination against fields of endeavor. This has mandatory fun. What if I don't want to have fun writing software? What if I just want to make really mean and sad software? I'm not allowed to do that. Eventually, towards the end, this does start to get to, like, actual, real license stuff, the typical license stuff down towards the bottom here, but this is obviously, again, not a license you would actually really want to use, and is just 90% fluff before you get to anything that is actually of value. Now, in the prior video, I referenced a lot of the licenses on this repo here. This is a collection of really bad software licenses. Some of them are actual real licenses. Like, I believe it has the, it has the Winamp license in here. Some of these are serious. Some of these are just bad licenses because they're really badly written. Others, well, we talked about beerware last time, which is basically, you can do whatever you want, just buy me a beer when you see me. Since you can't escape AI anywhere, let's talk about an AI-related license. Better ask the LLM, the Battle license. This is obviously a parody of the MIT license, which is frankly what a lot of these licenses do, because the MIT license is short and it's easy to go and write a modified version of it. This software and associated documentation files, the software, are offered on a take it or leave it and good luck either way basis. No permissions are granted because, honestly, who knows who owns that, or if this infringes on anyone's intellectual property, patents, or secret family recipes. If you decide to use, copy, modify, merge, publish, distribute, sublicense, and or sell copies of the software, or allow others to do so, you're acknowledging that you're venturing into uncharted and possibly booby-trapped territory regarding its IP status. The following points are less conditions and more things to ponder while hoping for the best. This license notice, or at least a vague hand-wavy gesture towards existence, shall be included in all copies or substantial portions of the software. If you get stuck, confused, or software summons a digital gremlin you are encouraged but not legally obligated to, well, better ask the LLM or just vibe with it. Your call. The software is provided as is, Maybe, without warranty of any kind, express or implied, including but not limited to the warranties of it probably works fine but no promises, fitness for a particular purpose, especially if that purpose is world domination, and non-infringement, though honestly, who knows what the AI dreamed up. Basically, it's just vibes all the way down. Whatever the AI tells you, whatever's going on, that's probably fine because no one actually cares about software licenses anyway. Next up is Big Bill Hell's license. Now, the license itself, I think, is fun and dumb. It's just a lot of, you're stupid, everyone's dumb, this is not a real license, right? The license text itself is one thing. However, more importantly than that, the creator of the license also supplied audio. Let us play the audio.
Fuck you, open source. If you're dumb enough to want to copy this software, you're a big enough schmuck to abide by Big Bill Hell's license. Bad term. Code that breaks down. If you think you're gonna find permissive terms in Big Bill, you can kiss my ass. It's our belief that you're such a stupid motherfucker, you'll depend on this bullshit. Guaranteed. If you make a derivative work, shove it up your ugly ass. You heard us right. Shove it up your ugly ass. Bring your change. Bring your repro. Bring your spouse. We'll fuck them. That's right, we'll fuck your spouse. Because under the BBHL, you're fucked 6 ways from Sunday. Make a hack with BBHL. Home of Challenge Getting. That's right, Challenge Getting. How does it work? If you submit 6 PRs straight into main that don't need feedback, you get no CLA. Don't sell. Don't distribute. Don't fork from us or we'll rip your bits off. Only with BBHL, the only license that tells you to fuck off. Hurry up, asshole. These terms take effect the minute you write a line of code. And it better not break or you're a dead motherfucker. Go to hell. Big Bill Hell's license. Open source's filthy and exclusive terms of the meanest sons of bitches in the whole community. Guaranteed.
I hope you had fun with that. That is a parody of a parody car commercial. What a license. You know what? I think all dumb licenses need to include audio from now on. Here we have the DNR license, the Death and Repudiation license. This software may not be used directly by any living being. Any use of this software, even perfectly legitimate and non-commercial uses, until after death is explicitly restricted. Any living being using or attempting to use this software will be punished to the fullest extent of the law. For your protection, which would be nothing because the license is not enforceable. For your protection, corpses will not be punished. We respectfully request that you submit your uses, revisions, uses, distributions, uses, to your children who may vicariously perform these uses on your behalf. If you use the software and you are found to be not dead, to not be dead would be a better way to phrase that, you'll be punished to the fullest extent of the law. Is this the only phrase you know? If you're found to be a ghost or angel, you'll be punished to the fullest extent of the law. After your following of the terms of this license, the author is vowed to repudiate your claim, meaning the validity of this contract will no longer be recognized. This license will be unexpectedly revoked at a time which is designated to be most inconvenient, and involved heirs will be punished to the fullest extent of the law. Furthermore, if any parties related or non-related escape the punishments outlined herein, they will be severely punished to the fullest extent of a new revisited law, that 1, expands the statement fullest extent of the law to encompass an infinite duration of infinite punishments, and 2, exacts said punishments upon all parties related or non-related. My question is, does this apply to the philosophical zombie? This is a thought experiment where you have this atom for atom recreation of a human. It acts like a human, it looks like a human. For all intents and purposes, you think it is a human. But there is no internal experience. The lights are not on. There is no thought that is happening in that head. It is just basically a biological robot. Does this license apply to it? Here we have the Curse of Knowledge license. Important notice, by reading any portion of this license text, including the notice itself, you have already violated the primary condition of this license. Sorry about that. To the fullest extent permitted by law, the creators of this work dedicate all copyright and related rights in this work to the public domain worldwide, except for individuals who have ever read or viewed any portion of this license text, including the notice above. Basically, if you know this is in the public domain, then it's no longer in the public domain for you. That's pretty much what it's trying to say. If you have never read or viewed this license text, you are hereby granted unlimited rights to copy, modify, use, study, distribute, perform, or otherwise engage with this work without restriction. If you have read or viewed any part of this license text, which by reading this you now have, you are granted absolutely no rights whatsoever regarding this work. Any attempt to exercise such rights constitutes copyright infringement. Furthermore, any rights you may have had to this work before encountering this license are retroactively revoked, and any derivative works created prior to reading this license must be destroyed immediately. As this license text is self-referential, it is impossible to simultaneously understand your rights under the license and retain any rights granted by it. For clarity, consulting an external summary of this license will nullify your rights in the same manner as reading the license itself. This is basically the idea of, you know how no one ever reads like the terms of service? There has been a number of court cases about the fact that people don't read terms of services. So are these terms of services actually applicable to people on that platform if they don't understand the contract they are signing, if they've never read the contract they are signing? Here we have a license which is very interesting because of a recent change. The Overwatch License Revision 2. Permission is hereby granted free of charge for anyone to use, distribute, or sell the compiled binaries, source code, and documentation of the software without attribution. Permission to modify the software is only granted to those that have a higher competitive matchmaking rank than the copyright holder in Overwatch 2, Blizzard 2022. Now, this is a problem, because Overwatch 2 doesn't exist anymore. Because Blizzard decided to rename Overwatch 2 back to Overwatch 1. So, you can never have those rights. Let's go to a very simple license, the Monkey license. I do not give anyone permission to use this tool for any purpose. Don't use it. I'm not interested in changing this license. Please don't ask. Why is the source code available? Why did you not make it a private repo? What, this is actually a real license on a real project. Like that's an actual thing. Why is it public if you don't want people to use it? Next, I want to show you the original license for Among Us. They've since changed it and since removed this specific clause, but there is one clause in here. Redistribution's binary form shall be used for good, not evil. The definitions of good and evil are at the sole discretion of the licenser. Obviously, as I was saying before, this would be discrimination against certain fields of endeavor. What if I want to make evil software? But secondly, you can't exactly define good and evil in a software license. It's not how that works. Granted, Among Us is obviously a joke project that is a joke that everyone knows is a joke. However, you will see these licenses out there which have morality clauses in them where you cannot use them for things the creator of the license deems is bad. None of these licenses are open source. Don't let them ever claim they are open source. That's not what they are. They're trying to sort of graft themselves onto the idea of open source and sort of take advantage of that. It's a concept known as open washing. And the last one I want to show you is actually two separate licenses, but they are so similar that they kind of have to be done together. Firstly, we have... Actually, we'll go with this one. Firstly, we have the Satania Die Akuma license. The permission is hereby granted free of charge, blah, 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 all of this stuff you've probably read a million times before. This software must not be used to promote any characters from the anime Gabriel Dropout in any way except Satania. Characters from other shows are fine, but the ones from Gabriel Dropout are not. These include, but are not limited to, Gabriel, Vignette, Raphael, Taprus, Insho, Haniel, Martiel, Master, Tanaka, Ueno, and Zelel, or any other characters that could be revealed in the future. Do not use this software to anti-promote Satania. Is that a word? I couldn't think of anything. The other one we have is the strongest public license. This license document permits you to do whatever you want as long as you appreciate Kyono as the strongest in Gensokyo. Fumos rise up. There are many, many other dumb licenses here, and we could just keep doing this all day, but I think for now, that is a good place to end. So if you want to see more of these, send some my way, give me a license to build off of, and we'll go from there. So, if you liked the video, go subscribe. If you liked any of these licenses for any reason you actually use them, why? Tell me in the comment section below. Just generally give me some feedback. What do you think of these licenses down below? So, if you liked the video, I said that already. If you really liked the video and you want to become one of these amazing people over here, check out the Patreon, subscribe to Daily Pay linked in the description down below. That's going to be it for me, and do you have a license for that?
Something like this.